Quite likely, language is in itself inherently intelligent. Certainly what we term as human intelligence is very much bound to language. We store memories in our minds as images, formed from ideas, tied to feelings, bound in our bodies, backdated in time. Words contain concepts, conceived before the body was born, before the tongue could form, before I could think of perceiving link. How long ago did people begin to paint faint pictures with ink, to sink pen succinct into cup, to scribe word with sword, and divide the hide with symbolic stroke of genius scribble? How long must we look back through time to tell that tale? We can piece tales together like Lego pieces, if the shapes fit, then join them and see if the overall story holds water. Most mythologies have much in common with each other. A criticism of Christianity is that the Christ myth is composed of many previous mythic tales, becoming a composition set in a central place, staged in the Middle Eastern Mediterranean melting pot of Galilee by the shore of the strangely named Dead Sea. The term Middle Eastern, though taken for granted, is also strangely named. That Dead Sea region is only Middle Eastern when considered from the far west. Mediterranean's literally Middle Earth, which kind of suggests an allusion to the middle of the Earth body, because there is no such thing as the middle of the surface of a sphere. Etymologically, from terra, earth, land, literally dry land as opposed to sea. The naming of the Mediterranean as the Middle Earth can thus invoke an insight of middle meaning inner toward the center of the earth. Words like nativity and native share a beginning here. Conceptually, Jesus is born here. Jesus is raised here. Jesus is native here. These are storytelling ideas in mind. These ideas can become foundational beliefs that build monolithic ivory towers, churches, cathedrals, mosques, synagogues, and Templar trading post office systems that underlay monetary monopoly. The middle of a human body is essentially the belly button, also known as the navel. The navel is where the umbilical cord once nourished the newborn child, when the world was now new and thus unknown, without past memory. The navel is the lowest point in the surface of the belly. If one lies on one's back and pours a little liquid on one's torso, some will flow across one's chest and down to the abdomen to settle in a pool upon the navel region, centered upon the belly button. The Jordan is the world's lowest river, emptying into the Dead Sea at 400 meters below sea level. This area gets called the cradle of civilization. This area becomes a central point of boat building. This area is a waterway, connecting worldwide mercantile shipping routes which maintain to the present day. This area is where the Phoenician Empire issued forth and set sail upon trade winds that went all the way round the globe, making maps and coming back with global goods, with a global economy, with tall ships and tall stories. The Phoenician Empire maintains the economy to this present day. We still speak phonetically. We still spell with Phoenician precision alphabetically. The mythic phoenix raises from the dead, engulfed in flames from a nest of embers, eternally rising, rebirthing, reorganizing, reiterating, reconfiguring, rejoining the dots that make the map that encompasses the globe. Civilizations follow orders. Civilizations enforce natural laws. Civilizations succeed through harnessing nature. There are many lands that poke their head above water, but there is only one body of water, worldwide, bound by one tide, under the influence of only one moon. Money is funny as a universal property, whose spelling is reminiscent of the moon eye. There are many things which the public do not know about. There are inner circles and outer layers. There is an invisible point that provides the provisions. The point of a circle is unity through division. The point is invisible from outside of the circumference, yet the point is integral to the whole, while dividing the inner from the outer. That's why in global trade markets, insider knowledge allows for insider trading. For if you know the past and you have the ships and the maps and you employ an experienced crew with a captain's logbooks and with a secret conveyancing of trigonometry, one can easily project the trajectory of the trade winds, the currents and tides, the complications of computations that give rise to predictability. Mathematics holds the keystone that keeps the arch intact. Geometric geomancy and geography. Practice makes perfect. Secret societies hold secret knowledge. Not everybody that walks through an archway knows about the construction held in place by the placement of the keystone. Keystone. Keys, tone. Lawyers is a modern word for scribes. Members of the educated classes have letters after their name to indicate what degrees of secret knowledge have been obtained. Scribes set the tone of words written in stone, transcribed to latter-day paper from animal hide scrolls. Only those who could read and write could compute to keep account, to tell the time, to tell a tale, set upon multiple stories, to build a spell binding of such biblical proportions as to encompass the whole, with a stairway to heaven as a sky-scraping Tower of Babel overarching archetypal narrative compilations that govern the globe with geographical, biographical, mythological, biological codes of conduct. For example, the Commercial Code of Admiralty Law rules the 7 seas as a universal commercial code. 7 seas, like the 7 colours of the rainbow and the 7 days of the week, are merely mental divisions of the whole. Verily, here is only one body of water in truth. Universal equals Catholic. The Phoenician Empire ruled the world with longitude and latitude marked on maps, drawn on globes, carved in stones, built into place on sacred sites, joining dots, making holes. How old is the reality of a one-world government? How long has this reality been kept cryptic? What is the Catholic Commercial Code? If you don't already know, why not? AI overview. Quote, the phrase, the empire on which the sun never sets, famously described the vast British Empire due to its global reach, ensuring daylight somewhere in its territories. But it was first applied to the even larger Spanish Empire under Charles V in the 16th century, a concept later adopted for the British Empire in the 19th century, highlighting immense territorial power until its gradual dissolution. Some mythological questions arise upon the high tides of legendary contemplation.